Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to another Supreme Commander Epic, the first Epic of 2016. That's right, keeping it rolling here at Guilecast into another year. Exciting stuff. For those of you that don't know the difference between the regular Forged Alliance Forever promotional casts and the Epics, well, the Epics basically typically run just that little bit longer. We used to say if it goes over an hour game time, then it qualifies for epicosity. Not so much anymore, because then we kind of had that weird thing where you might get a 45-minute, 50-minute settings game, but because of the slowdown, the cast would end up being like an hour and a half, and it's like, well, that doesn't really follow. So now we're just saying if it looks like it's going to go close to or over just an hour, then we're going to call it an epic. Or if it seems to run a decently long length of time and lots of crazy stuff happens, then that might also achieve epic status, and that's in no way a clue as to what's coming up this afternoon. I would love to talk to you a little bit about all of the amazing tournaments that are going on at the moment on FAF, but Zoc asked me to help promote it last week, and I failed. I didn't get a cast out last week, as you guys know. And he's in a game at the moment, so I can't talk to him about it. I can't do my own research because the forums are down because of the server migration. So you guys could just take it as read that there's lots of cool tournament stuff going on out there, and you can get involved with it if you want to. So we'll leave it there. Alright, on to today's game. It's going to be an 8-player free-for-all on gap of 64 ACUs, and that's exactly as crazy as it sounds. I'm going to leave the rest up to your imagination as we go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. And you guys will be like, oh, we never see the in-transit screen, Guile. What's going on with that? This is just completely out of character. Yeah? Well, so's this. Boom! Straight into the action, and you can see right in the center the amalgam of different ACUs opening up each other. Not even going to have time to introduce the players to you this time, because every single player on this modded map has 8 ACUs at his disposal, 2 from each race per player, so they've all got access to all of the tech. And your first thought when you log into a game like this is, what do I do? And I think you can see by the profanity in chat, that certainly causes reaction. I think what you've got to do is you've got to try and consolidate your ACUs. If I was to click on one random person, you can see that's the general spread you've got between these different players. You're going to start seeing ACUs going pop very quickly, very soon, I would imagine. But you've got to pick a couple of places on the map to head on out to. The first AC to go down looked like that belonged to Elvis Chow, our 0-rated player, so there's a huge range in global ranking score in this. But anyway, you've got to pick a couple of places on the map where you want to make your house and run to it with your ACUs. You don't want to pick them all together in one place either, though, because of course when they go pop, they make a very loud, a very big, and a very bright bang, it would seem. But already getting some structures on the map now. Mistake not at 1200 ranking there, not hanging about. He's got structures either side of the northern section of the central reservation on this modified version of Gap of Rohan. And also another few down here. And it also seems like we've got a few structures popping up around the place from Lame. There goes another ACU. And Koz definitely deciding to group his ACUs together. You can see 4 of them in the same area. Another one trekking on through the gap as we speak. And another one coming from way back here. It looks like Jagged Appliance is converging on the southern half of the central reservation as more ACUs going pop all over the place. It looks like that's where he wants to make his home for now. More structures going down there from Lame, who's managed to fend off another attack from somebody, but it's impossible to tell as these ACUs are going up in smoke far too quickly. But there we go. We see some PD going down from Koz. So he's going to be making his stand with most of his ACUs all heading in that direction. Makes his way through the gap there. A lot of action going on up at the top left-hand corner between Prince Azrael and Lame. Azrael trying to deny what factories he can and try and hold on to that position. Lame at 1600 global ranking has the most to prove in this one as the top-rated player. There goes another ACU down here, but Koz, having fended off that attack, needs to be really careful because he's got all of his ACUs in one place. He's got T1 PD that he's been building, but two of them are badly damaged. He doesn't want to end up in a situation like that where all his ACUs are killed off in one fell swoop. Lame manages to defend against Prince Azrael at top left, so he's going to have a hold there, I would imagine. Koz still with one ACU left, but doesn't want to keep it. He's going to control K that, so there he goes. Certainly that would be a massive disadvantage to be reduced within the first 4 minutes of the game to just one ACU. Shrapnel, meanwhile, and Mistake not going toe-to-toe down here at the bottom left-hand corner. No! I stand corrected. Prince Azrael is the one who's going to hold up here against Lame. Still with two ACUs, albeit fairly functioning ACUs, up at that top left-hand corner. So Lame evicted from that section of the map. There goes Mistake not. So Shrapnel going to be able to take another little starting location there. He's already got a T2 factory nearby, but still close proximity. 3 ACUs there from Dirty or Dirtier Dragon. Interesting naming decision there on that one. We've got T1 bombers out from Elvis, and they're working on one of Dirtier Dragon's exposed ACUs there, one of the Aeon ones. There's just so much going on. This would be like my worst nightmare trying to work in this game. I think if I was going to go with anything, I would be ripping off a Chief Jaguar's strat and trying to pick one of these highland locations. You've got great potential range with T2 static emplacements. You get in here, lots of mass right in the center. You can bubble up, lots of anti-air and PD around the edges. Make yourself a little mountain fortress in which you can hit people out, maybe with some TAC missile launchers. That would be the way to go. And also then you don't have to split your attention between multiple locations, which is what Mistake Not and Lame are doing in very fine fashion. His main base up here, Lame working on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like his 10th factory in this area of the map alone. And he's got pretty much three other bases to think about. That could almost be counted as one, I guess. But nice little TAC missile strike there from Mistake Not. TAC missile launcher online, picks off one of Dirtier Dragon's ACUs, and it looks like Dragon is going to move out of the area with the 3 he's got left. Those 3 pretty badly damaged now. Doesn't want to lose those, but where on earth does he move to? His other base is on the other side of the map. But then Lame also very nearby with 2 ACUs as well. It's just 6 3/4 minutes gone in this one. I feel like I've aged a decade as Lame now trying to Zooey spam Elvis in the center here. That is trying to get as many different racial factories online as possible just so he doesn't lose access to the tech. And he's got a lot of ACUs right there, but looking up here at the top, we've got a face-off between Lame and Azrael. Lame loses one of the ACUs, but Azrael has both of his very badly damaged indeed, and that is going to be a draw as all 3 of the ACUs that remain open up a path for Mistake Not, who now has pretty much free reign to grab what's left. There are a couple of factories online there, but not enough really for Lame to make a go of it, judging by what's going on elsewhere on the map. Interestingly enough, Elvis deciding not to push on the top right-hand corner. There is quite a bit of T1 PD going on over here, and we've seen how dangerous it can be already, clumping your ACUs and assaulting a position, or even trying to defend a position. Absolute madness, this one, as Lane and Shrapnel go at it over on the west. Such close proximity between these bases. A few more minutes though and we should reach some kind of stabilization, but there go another 3 ACUs, this time belonging to Dragon. How many ACUs does Dragon have left? Well, he's still got 4 remaining, so no major problem there, but here comes a double comm drop on board the same transport. No, he's not actually. He's bringing it right over the top. I thought he was going after a Chief Jaguar. Still suffering from some kind of chest thing, so if I cough during the course of this one, please forgive me. But just as his 2 ACUs touch down, he loses another, I think. Just impossible to keep up with this one. We're starting to see T3 units on the field now for Mistake Not, who looks like he might be going after Prince Azrael next. Prince Azrael does have a couple of ACUs in that top left-hand corner base, which is his only stronghold on the map, actually. So it's do or die now for our 100-rated red player up there at the top left. Could have said UEF, but a game mode like this, it really doesn't mean anything. In comes another T2 transport from Lame, laden with Zuis. How much attention is Dragon playing? Well, a couple of volleys there from the Triads, and most of those are insta-kill. They did manage to take down one of the Triads, but ultimately not a particularly cost-effective engage there from Lame. He's like, what do you want from me? I'm fighting a war on 12 fronts. Yeah, I completely understand. More Zuis pushing out from Lame, this time towards Mistake Not's eastern base. Got one Cybran commander kicking it down here. There goes another ACU up here, and that looks like it was one of Elvis's. The others all well down into the yellow. Lame's ACU a little bit healthier, still in the yellow though on around 6,100, but Elvis needs to be very careful indeed not to overextend himself there. Another Zui drop over here. They get a volley or 2 away, going straight after the Triad. They get rid of it, but they lose the rest of the Zuis in the process. Interestingly, he didn't decide to go after the build capacity. That probably would have made a little bit more sense there. But Elvis about to lose another commander. He split his comms, which is probably a good idea. Going after the Zuis. Probably should have gone after Lame's ACU, but that ACU is going to survive, or at least for the moment, with 3,500. T1 bombers brought in there, taken down to 2,200. Another wave of T1 bombers as well. A little bit of micro from Lame keeps that ACU on around the 2,000 mark. There are a lot of T1 anti-air emplacements that will finish off those bombers and keep Lame's ACU presence alive up in that top right-hand corner. It's another pretty significant looking development now from Lame. 3 ACUs of his converging on Dragon, along with a whole bunch of Aurora support. I don't even know what could have taken that down. I'm assuming some kind of snipe, maybe from the 3 TAC missile launchers up on the ridge there from a Chief Jaguar. So he's going to be firing down on these bases around this portion of the map. It's going to add another layer of complexity to these players' headache. Going to have to get some TMD up pretty sharpish. I do fear for Dragon's safety. I like what he's doing in the center here. No player has stuck around to try and make a go of the center there, but Dragon managing to get some T2 build capacity in there, sending them over from the eastern base and picking up all of those mass points. It's a lot of mass to be had in the center there. But Math's Zooey rush now from Lame, bearing down on Elvis's base. Another TAC missile barrage incoming. Trying to pick off ACUs, but Lame does have a Volcano in there. Aeon TMD, most effective pretty much at dealing with those bulky missile attacks and barrages, but Elvis going to be in trouble now. He's about to lose one of his Aeon ACUs. It's on around 400 hit points. Of course, when one of those goes up, it's going to take the Zooies with it, but I think that's going to be the end of Elvis. There he goes. So we lose our second player in this one just before the 14-minute mark, but Mistake Not looking pretty dangerous right now with mass loyalist spam going after Lame's forward position. And I tell you what, that could be a real game saver for Dragon, who has been backed into a corner on this side of the map by Lame with his 2 bases nearby. Trebuchet in the corner, raining down fire on Dragon's eastern base. And Lame, not liking what's going on that side of the map, is going to airdrop 3 ACUs back up to the top right-hand corner. You'd think his next focus will surely be Mistake Not's eastern base. 2 ACUs sitting pretty safely under shield coverage up there, and I haven't spoken much about the central reservation, the northern split. Did look like that was going to end up in Mistake Not's hand, but Lame has managed to hold on to it with all of the land factories he had up there. But what on earth went down, I do not know. That must have been one of Mistake Not's Cybran ACUs. I'm going to go with probably another TAC missile strike from a Chief Jaguar in the center. It's all guesswork at this point. Still hefty group of loyalists on the move for Mistake Not. They pretty much succeeded in wiping out the southwestern base there for Lame. And Mistake Not killing off Prince Azrael as well. There he goes at 15 3/4 minutes. And then there were 5. Zooey drop onto the cliffs. That should have a few range successes against the buildings down here. It rains all of that T1 artillery ugliness down onto the T3 HQ, which Mistake Not has been using to great effect, producing those loyalists that have caused Lame so many headaches down here. So that is the end of that headquarters factory. That will have to be rebuilt somewhere else before any more loyalists will be produced. Build capacity being airlifted up now from Lame from his other base down here, which is now under threat from gunship attack from a Chief Jaguar. Build capacity trying to span traces up as quickly as possible. I think they're going to get enough together potentially to fend off that last Vulthu. There it goes. But it does seem like Lame is control K'ing his factories, perhaps wants to recycle them as best he can, and he's going to make his stand up in this portion of the map. Definitely needs to gouge Mistake Not out of here. It's cutting off access between the ridge and his main base. Dragon still alive and kicking in the center. In fact, that's getting bigger with every passing minute. One of the ACUs transferred over to the center now. Tons of energy storage going up, presumably around a T2 P-Gen. I'm surprised that he's not hoovering up a bit more of this mass, not grabbing the mass extractor. But remember, we are dealing with a very diverse and eclectic mix of players here. There's another transport comes in for Lame. Only one of the Zuis make landfall. But yes, right up from a 0-rated player, Elvis, who has now been defeated, right up to Lame on 1600. Lame in with another drop, gets instantly overcharged, and half of the Zuis are incinerated. They do manage to take down one structure before they die out. And Chief Jaguar going T3 air, so a strap bomber and a few ASFs now on the map for him. Could kill off a few choice targets if he picks them well. T3 air also now on the cards for Lame. Strap bomber out for him, goes straight after 3 mass extractors and a bunch of build capacity around them. Takes them all out in one go. 13 kills now for that strat, and he's about to get a whole lot more. Straight up to 30, takes down another 3 mass extractors. Take a quick look at mass while we mention it. It's actually a Chief Jaguar who seems to be out in front on 182 mass per tick. Mistake Not after him on 158, Lame on 112, and then Dragon on 79, and Shrapnel down in the bottom left-hand corner on a paltry 37, although he is expanding now, build capacity, moving out onto the mass points that have been freed up with the eviction of Lame from that portion of the map. And I can't believe it, approaching 20 minutes, and we finally look like we're reaching some kind of slowdown in the action. Strap bomber finally killed off there by Mistake Not. Lame massing potentially to assault that eastern base belonging to Mistake Not. Still 2 ACUs, one of them immobile while it's getting an upgrade, the other assisting the air HQ. T2 transport completed, perhaps with a view to evacing some commanders, but he's not going to get a chance. That's why he's backing up out of there. We could be about to see a couple more ACUs die a death from Mistake Not. He hasn't got any T2 emplacements online, the ground-based emplacements, once those Oblivion turrets die off, which is what has happened in virtually no time at all. Might say we'll go after the ACUs, but of course, just one ACU goes pop, it's going to take out most of those Zuis, so it makes sense to work on all of the buildings at the same time. T3 Air HQ producing restorers. Another target of opportunity, a choice one there for Lame, having just taken out the T3 land factory. In comes Chief Jaguar with a handful of Volvo's T2 gunships rolling in now to assault the northern ridge. I tell you what, that would be a nice setup for him if he could somehow secure that, transport over to the top, have control of both of the ridges. Really starting to see little SOCOM nations develop in this one now, as the last structure in that base go down. That's D3 Air HQ. The Zui's free to roll in and take out the ACUs. Mistake not, far too busy elsewhere to worry about these two. He's going to let them go. There goes one, and there goes another. So Mistake not loses two more ACUs, and Lane consolidates this portion of the map. However, threat from the south, hoplites and trebuchets stationed in what was Elvis's old base. Strap bombers out now for a Chief Jaguar, causing a few problems for Lane. You've got to go after the build capacity around here, surely. Instead, he's working on the ACUs. Shrapnel's still in it down here, turtling away. 51 mass per tick now for him. The Chief Jaguar still well out in front on 278. I'm a little bit concerned about the lack of defenses. Yes, he's got TMD, he's got some anti-aircraft cover in there, but surely you need to get some shield coverage in there, especially with the amount of trouble you're causing for other players on the map. You're going to become a high priority target soon enough. Nice bit of micro there from Lane's ACUs, keeping them alive. That Aeon one not in a good shape on around 3,000 hit points. Surely going to go any second, just waiting on one or two more direct hits. Trebuchet fire adding headaches to the migraine for Lane. Oh, that was close. 500 hit points remain on the southernmost Aeon ACU, and if one goes, they both will. They're in such close proximity. And there it is. So two more ACUs down, this time for Lane. And that leaves him with just two. Our 1600 rated player running out of ACUs now. So much mass on this map. And then, of course, you've got the generated mass from the ACUs as well. So lots of early build power and early eco for a game that is built to escalate about as quickly as any game of SOCOM ever has. But Lane needs to get something out here to counter these trebuchets right now, because they are causing him all sorts of problems at range. Chief Jaguar going after Mistake Not now with his strap bombers, picks off another ACU up here at the top. Where does that take our pink Cybran? Though he's not really a Cybran. He's got two UEF ACUs left and a Cybran, so 3 ACUs in total remain for him. And now he's going after the piled up loyalists sitting outside the factories there and taking out a huge quantity of them with a couple of strap bombers. Nice work indeed. And Mistake Not needs to be really careful there. One of his ACUs loaded on board that Aeon transport with ASFs from a Chief Jaguar flying straight by, but fortunately for him, he decides to drop that ACU off. And that ACU has Billy nukes on board, or at least has the upgrade. This is where some guy in the comment section tells me he's been firing them for half the game and I've been missing them. Well, quite possible. This is Guilecast after all. But that Billy nuke sure to come in handy. Could evict Dragon out of the center with it right now, I would imagine. So it looks like Lame managed to catch Mistake Not napping with his Zooies, went out and took out those T3 mobile artillery pieces. And there goes another ACU for Lame. Lame now down to just one Seraphim ACU. That is the ACU that he's been specializing in. You can see all the Seraphim factories around here. Mistake Not now going after a Chief Jaguar, and this is the wonderful thing about free-for-alls, at least free-for-alls that are played properly often end out as longer games because players instinctively gravitate towards the stronger players. In come the Loyalists, but that's an awful lot of ACU firepower up there and a lot of potential overcharges if he's got the stored power to do so. Mistake Not redirecting now, trying to find vulnerable buildings that he can take out without sitting on that pile of ACUs with their overcharges. So would you look at that? Very quick build from a Chief Jaguar on that Colossus, takes it straight to 60,000 hit points before he depletes his stored mass. And then all was quiet once again. Lame still in control of the northern peak. What a thoroughly entertaining and ridiculous game this is. Com drop on the cards though, here from Mistake Not. ACU, and that's the ACU with the Billy Nuke. Now where's the TMD is the question. We've got a volcano over here, so he wants to avoid that. There goes the tactical nuke. Right next to the ACUs that are all piled up right on top of each other. Boom! Taking all the ACUs down to the yellow with the exception of that one Cyberin that's well down into the red on just 1400. That Billy Nuke, of course, can recharge incredibly quickly if he's got the code to do it, but no build capacity around him to assist that. But the Loyalists will get the job done as they roll in and take out all of a Chief Jaguar's ACUs in one push. The Colossus just gets online as well and then has nothing to do as command control is severed with the passing of their master. Chief Jaguar looking so strong in that one, but it just goes to show you, you're going to get a position like that, you're going to start pissing off the neighbors. You better get some shield coverage in there and some point defense to boot. Never mind. And there we go, we're down to 4 players. Astonishingly, Shrapnel outliving Chief Jaguar. Just sitting down here at the bottom left-hand corner. He is quite literally Switzerland. It's like, I don't want to get involved. Leave me out of this. Mistake Not wanting to hear any of that kind of talk. Rolling in with those Loyalists, but that's a lot of point defense he's got stacked up under there. A lot of it Cerberus turret fire, admittedly, but there's a big old bank of Oblivion turrets in there too, which is more than enough of a match for those lowercase T3 units. Transports buzzing backwards and forwards, meanwhile for Lame between the peak and his main base over in the east. Upgrade going on that last remaining commander there for Lame. As we approach half an hour gone in this one, all goes quiet, and it's actually Mistake Not who seems to be out in front now. I tell a lie, that could be Dragon. Dragon who's out front economically speaking, although these are fluctuating. He's bottlenecked on power at the moment, but it looks like he's the one picking up the most mass, no doubt thanks to the installation in the center. Where is that Billy Nuke commander? Well, he's sitting up here. Nope, that's another one altogether. No, that is him. The map mod interfering with the readout in the bottom left hand corner when you don't have things selected, when you don't have players selected. Monkey Lawn under construction there from Dragon. if any play do we have from Shrapnel. He's got a lot of TAC missile launchers down there. 9 of them. All almost partially loaded. No doubt wanting to get enough missiles together that he can bypass any defense that Dragon's got and pick off that location. That would be his next starting location. No sooner do I say it, in come the missiles. They deplete the shield and take down one of the T3 power generators, and that in turn kills all of the build capacity around that was working on another T3 power generator. Another wave of TAC missiles coming in, going after that ACU in the center. Dragon, not going to get caught napping, is going to move, and in fact they weren't going after the ACU, they were going straight after the factory, so the target that was chosen is still picked off. Nice work there from him. Dragon's going to have to get some TND up pretty sharpish. The feeling Shrapnel's not going to let up. He's certainly not got anything else to do anywhere else. Lame still pushing that Zooey spam, causing some problems for Mistake Not. Mistake Not countering with gunships though. Broadswords making short work of those. That next Billy Nuke almost completed now for Mistake Not. You've surely got to be going after Dragon in the center, although there's a lot of zappers down there. Billy Nuke unlikely to make it through. Somebody built an experimental. We'll take a look at who that might be in just a second, as Dragon hits back at Shrapnel in the bottom left-hand corner with some Titans. Not a lot of firepower right there, but an awful lot of point defense firepower that they're marching straight into. Let's not forget, of course, Mistake Not holds almost all of the bottom right unchallenged and the bottom left, and now he's moving in to achieve Jaguar's old home. That has itself got a lot of mass that he can take advantage of, but he's only got so much APM to spare. That build capacity for the moment still sitting there. TAC missile barrage continues, still trying to pick off a commander, but Dragon paying a lot of attention to this one, moving his ACUs out to position over here. No point in trying to pick those off while he's at it. Might as well carry on working on the base. But there's the Monkey Lord, the experimental we saw the notification for earlier. That's going straight for a base assault on Shrapnel. Just don't know if it's going to make it, though. There's so many Oblivion turrets down there. A little bit of overkill for that T2 P-Gen. You only need one missile to take that thing down. I think 3 or 4 would have done the trick, getting through that TMD. Lovely work from Mistake Not with that assault on a Chief Jaguar. Billy Nuke followed up with the Loyalist push. And Monkey Lord rolling straight in and taking care of the Oblivion turrets first. Still has 20-odd thousand hit points in the tank as it moves in to work on the Cerberus turrets. Deals out a lot of damage, but ultimately not enough to take the base offline completely. The ion reactor would have been a good decision had he decided to go for it. More loyalists on the cards. What I love about this is when a player picks a strategy and sticks to it, you can really see the difference in styles. We've got a very heavy loyalist presence on the field, as we have throughout this game from Mistake Not. And that contrast with the mass Zooey spam that we've seen coming out of Lame, living up to his name quite literally there. Siege tanks up front as well for Lame. Otham's trying to stem the tide of loyalists that are rolling now into Lame's territory. Lame trying to get as much T2 PD online up at the main base as he can. Figures he's going to need it. And has actually been ousted completely from that ridge, that northern peak. And now another push from Mistake Not, this time going after Dragon's central position. There are so many Cerberus turrets down here, but they put out some woeful damage. Loyalists just shrugging them off as they continue to press forward, killing off the build capacity, working on that Monkey Lord. Definitely want to take down those power plants and not stand too close to them when they do it. Oh, that's unfortunate. And what's left of the Loyalist force continue to press on towards the ACUs and another bank of Cerberus turrets. So it's going to be the end of that little push. Still, decent amount of damage inflicted as we return to the top right-hand corner. T1 bombers working now on some bricks, which I'm glad to finally see coming out from Mistake Not. Often joining the fray as well. Looks like Mistake Not is either going to reposition or withdraw and try and take out what he can of the structures to the west of Lame's base. Shrapnel builds his first experimental with a little bit of a help from Dragon's Monkey Lord that fell just outside his base. That Monkey Lord's now going to march on Dragon's western stronghold that has no longer any ACU presence in it. There are the odd Ravager to worry about. There is the odd Ravager to worry about. Good English there, Guile. Well done. Thank you. Much more concerning is the bank of Triads further back. He's going to pick them off one at a time. Down now into the yellow and about to go into the red. Unfortunately, he's straight into range of the T1 PD. That's a lot of extra damage he didn't need to take. Triads going up one at a time. Needs to focus on them, not the T1 PDs he's out of range of. Oh my goodness, he manages to do it. Really didn't think he was going to. As we move back to Mistake Not, who has constructed a crab and is marching it down towards the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Poor old Shrapnel finally ousts Dragon and opens up some kind of avenue for him to expand. He's going to face a ranged threat that he's frankly very ill-equipped to deal with. He's working on another Monkey Lord. That's not going to be done for some time. We've got another Monkey Lord as well coming out from Dragon, who really needs to think about sending it towards Mistake Not, who's in firm danger of running away with this game as he holds all of the bottom right-hand corner, all of the bottom left, and is threatening him at range now with trebuchet fire on that holding in the center. Lame was looking like the more dangerous player for the first 15-20 minutes or so. That period has now passed, and Mistake Not needs to be challenged as he's pulling in 526 mass per tick currently. Lame on 441. Shrapnel up to 140. And Dragon, having looked previously very strong, is now down to 79. I'm suspecting that's power issue related. Yes, he is suffering from a significant power deficit. Needs to get a handle on that ASAP. T1 bombers out in force for lane. They're going to get slaughtered by this imposing ASF air wing that Mistake Not has mustered together in the last few moments. Look at the level of development now for Mistake Not. He really is starting to look pretty dangerous. Amassing large groups of units in different locations, but another Billy Nuke out now for Mistake Not, and if that lands soon, that's going to cause a great deal of problems. It's not going to matter anyway because the Megalith had it all in hand. But why not kill two commanders with a tactical nuke? That's always fun to watch. Boom, baby! And there goes Dirtier Dragon at the 38-minute mark. So the gap will now be open for, I say players to traverse, but it will only be Mistake Not who'll be wandering back and forth throughout that. And it looks like Shrapnel could be next for the chop as the Loyalists move on down towards his base. TAC missile launch out, trying to lead on that crab, and that looks actually pretty damn good. Oh, overshoots and misses by a territory not dissimilar to that of Texas. Two Monkey Lords operational now for Shrapnel. I've only just realized actually there's no fog of war in this. These guys can see everything on this map. So it's another dimension to this particular game that's a little bit different. Out goes another barrage of TAC missiles. Will it be any closer on this one? Well, looks like he's gauged this pretty well. There goes one of the Monkey Lords. Is it going to stop short? Yes, it is. How very depressing that is. Another Monkey Lord about to complete, however. There goes another barrage. And this one looks pretty good as the crab is still advancing forward, and that's going to impact, taking it down to around 57,000 hit points. It's about 50-odd% of total HP. He needs to bring those Monkey Lords to bear and try and get in behind the crab if he can. Perhaps he doesn't need to, as the crab going to fixate on the base. No, just wasn't paying attention. But another Billy Nuke out now for Mistake Not. There goes the crab. And where is the tactical nuke? Here it comes. Flying high up over the map as it's launched from the peaks. Commander TAC missile anyway. They always fly a little bit higher. Will the zappers take care of it if there are any? Impacts on the shield, takes the shield down and damages some of the structures underneath, but the shield absorbing most of the impact as well it should. Of course, the Billy Nuke significantly less dangerous than the strategic nuke, but the problem is the recharge rate, and here comes another one, and the shield is down. This next one liable to finish Shrapnel off to all intents and purposes, assuming it doesn't get picked off by the zappers that are getting hastily spammed up at the back, and yes, it will. So Shrapnel lives to perhaps not fight another day, but at least fight another minute or two. In come the broadswords now, and another Billy Nuke. So Shrapnel definitely about to get ousted on this one, and well, it's usually good to fixate on the biggest threat when it's easy to open up another avenue to exploit and free up an entire quadrant of the map by picking off a player. It's usually a good idea to do so. There goes Shrapnel. Boom, baby, at 42 minutes, and must have been 3 ACUs in there or something. Brighter than the surface of the sun. That's a beautiful thing indeed. And then there were two, and Mistake Not looking very much like he's in danger of walking away with this one now. He's got full map control with the exception of the top right hand corner. Not even bothering to expand yet down here. He still should do. It's always worth picking up more mass. Not insta-build a couple of Zars and just fling them at Lame. Remember, Lame now just down to one solitary ACU. Lots of wall sections being spanned up to impede Make Not's progress. We've got a hell of a lot of T2 PD in there now, and lots of shield coverage as well. So we've got a classic bully versus turtle situation here now. But artificial choke points impeding the progress now of Mistake Not. Really, in my mind, perhaps focus on going mass strap bomber or something. Try and make a kill on that one remaining ACU. That's of course if he realizes there's only one left. The support commanders confuse the issue slightly. Comes a comm drop there from Mistake Not. Dropping in one of his 3 remaining ACUs and then deciding not to, and in fact bringing it all the way back to the ridge. Might as well pick up the ridge. Build some TAC missile batteries, give yourself another attack option. As we bump this to +2, I have a feeling now we're about to get some very sedentary play. Lame cannot expand at this point. Its only recourse is to try and turtle up and try and inflict as much damage as possible on Mistake Not with each attack he makes. In comes another Billy Nuke. That's going to kill off an awful lot of the sniper bots there. Needs to be careful though. Very cavalier with his ACU. And I don't think he meant to do that. I think he thought the ACU was on board. He's left his ACU behind, and that's his Billy Nuke ACU. Wants to hold on to that. Loyalists rolling in now.
Strategic launch detected.
But that's out from Lame, so he's going to be in full standoff mode. Now, surely we've got some strategic missile defense going on over here. We have got one online, but it's not loaded, and that's where the nuke's going. Boom, baby! Oh, that's a beautiful one. And that has torn a massive hole in Mistake Not's outrageous eco, as he is now massively bottlenecked on power. That was pretty much the majority of his power generation all in one place, all killed off with nuke. We've got one T3 power gen down here. Oh no! And another mistake there from Mistake Not living up to his name. The ACU that wasn't evac'd properly gets picked off by the sniper bots from Lame. So Lame making a couple of very clutch plays here in this one. Another massive loyalist push coming in at the eastern edge of the map. At this stage, Mistake Not really wants to be focusing on brick production, I think, rather than loyalists. The time for loyalist use is over, I would suggest. He needs punching power and tank if he's going to break this front line. And all he's really doing here, you look at it, there's virtually no structures are dying because of the shield coverage from Lane. This is all an exercise in mass dumping, epic mass donation. Chief Jaguar suggesting that Lane might have just won the game. Well, it's perhaps a little early to say that. Map control still firmly with Mistake Not, but you look at his army size and it's just been brutally diminished. And he's not even making use of the mass he's got. He is now wasting 213 mass per tick is being thrown away. No allies to give it to. That is just being chucked in the proverbial... I wonder what happens to it. There should be like piles of mass poo around mass storage, I think. When it doesn't get used. Someone should make a mod. I demand a mass poo mod for Softcom. That'll bring the punters back. And Ethota actually in danger of breaking out now for Lame. He's got no support, so these strap bombers could come straight in here and take that out. No air power on the field for Lame. Mistake Not really wants to... I know he wants to keep these safe, because he's probably thinking about what I was mentioning earlier, the idea of just one almighty strap bomb snipe going after that ACU. But he doesn't want to throw away this bottom right-hand corner base and potentially open up an avenue for Lame to expand into. Out come some ASFs. They're going to lock straight onto the strats that are now undefended as the ASFs go to cover the gunships that are going to take out the Thota. Few of the strat bombers taken out, a couple, but the rest are saved by promptly timed intervention.
Strategic launch
there
detected.
Goes another nuke out from Lame. Where's he going this time? Surely he's going out over this way. Well, he seems to be. He's not going out all the way there. He's going to hit the power grid again. And another strategic defense is online, but not loaded. Oh, and he might bag a few loyalists that are on the way for good measure, because why not? Just outside the blast radius. They're going to be all right, but ow. Ow, man. That hurts. That really does. As the strap bombers go to work in random fashion on the shield coverage, and now they're facing a very hefty SAM threat that's sprung up in the last few minutes from Lame. This'll take forever, says Mistake Not. Well, I don't know if it will. The rate at which you are hemorrhaging units. Lame sitting back, stinging with his nukes. And we're still not seeing any branching out into the bottom left-hand corner from Mistake Not. I think this is a prime example of overconfidence. Feels like he's got Lame cornered in, but this can be dangerous. You let an opponent get to this level of development, and remember, he's not really very far behind in eco. In fact, if I'm reading that right, he might actually now suddenly be ahead. Well, that's because of a bottlenecking on power, but either way, there's very little in it now. So all the territory, or the map control, means nothing, because Mistake Not won't expand into this bottom left-hand corner and take advantage of it. But 51 minutes, you're looking at classic Sopcom head time, where your energy is gone. You're looking at one objective through tunnel vision, thinking, I've just got to kill this guy, I've got him trapped, and not recognizing the real danger. And now we've got some T3 static artillery emplacements going up under what looks like, when it's finished, will be, if not triple, quadruple power-assisted shielding. That's going to be hard to break. and all of the structures on the map for Mistake Not unshielded. I'm not seeing a single shield online for him anywhere. Mass crab production on the way down here. That will take forever. It needs a lot more build capacity on that. That would be the way to go in this, potentially. But I'm not sure he's got the time, because would you look at how quickly that heavy artillery installation is being built, and we're only at +1 on sim speed, and it's not like he's got any more stored mass really to call on. He has got this mass field, which he's slowly reclaiming with support commanders. That loyalist push he made earlier. Build capacity trying to branch out now from Lame's base. I like what he's doing. He's expanding the wall sections. You can't do that forever, though, unless you start taking in the wall sections behind that. Of course, I think it's each 4 wall sections counts as 1 unit, so walls do eat into your unit cap at a diminished rate. Dirtier Dragon has spied the T3 artillery emplacement, which has now gone online and is training its massive Wonga on the peak, potentially, down here at the bottom. It looks like that's dropping further to the right. No, that is indeed going after the peak. It's going straight after the T3 power plant down here, an exposed target of opportunity. Good selection there from Lane. The crab we saw being built earlier, now online, takes a hit. And curiously, doesn't decide to finish off that P-gen. That's probably the best way to go, really, is stay on that power grid. He has annihilated it twice already in this one, and that has allowed him the window to get re-established. Got to be due another nuke reasonably soon. Well, we're about 55–60% done on the 3rd nuke. How are we doing on strategic missile defense? You've got to be thinking that's your main priority if you're Mistake Not after getting hit twice. Well, we've got a UEF-1 online up here, attached to the hydrocarbon and being assisted by a couple of ACUs. Oh, lovely though. Would you look at that? T3 artillery shell landing on top of the ASF. As the Chief Jaguar spotted, says killing about 30 of them. Absolutely painful. Mistake Not just getting brutalized here while seemingly being... Oh my god, those were the last ACUs. They were clumped up in the top corner, and the bloody static artillery emplacement finishes them off. I can't believe it. So Lame emerges victorious, having been hemmed in for the last 20 minutes or longer, in fact. Mistake Not throws away a very significant advantage. Well, how about that for a change of pace here at Guilecast? I do like free-for-alls, but not just that. I love that map. That's finally made Gap of Rohan tolerable. Good stuff. Well, more of those, please, guys. As you see, I do... tend to cast alternative things if they're sent my way. That was sent in to me this morning by Lame. Showboating, of course. Congratulations to you. Well done. But as always, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. More to come from me in the future. But in the meantime, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.